Welcome to Jamlish Real Talk again with a little bit of Labrish. Hi everyone, how you doing out there? Hope you're well. Please subscribe, okay, and like, and guess what? We have YouTube Shorts now, you know, so you can't bypass the shows, but watch the shows still. But you can go onto the YouTube Shorts. We're on there. Look at the activities and see what we're doing on YouTube Shorts, and of course all the other socials that we're on. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, obviously, and remember the YouTube Shorts. Yes, so here we are again, another show. Hiya, panel. Let me introduce you to the panel. How are you doing?
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
There, man, there. And then lively up on yourself, no?
We're ready for the
show,
We're getting ready for the show. You know, see me all sip my juice.
That's better. That's better.
We are ready.
Yes, so today's topic, what we're going to talk about, I think, and the panel as well, think that it is appropriate to talk about mixed relationships. Yeah? Some countries refer it as interracial relationship. We're going to talk about mixed relationship, which is part and parcel of the same thing. So let's go straight into it. Let's start the debate, guys. Let me ask you something. Has anybody been in a relationship or is in a relationship that is of mixed? And when I say mixed, yeah, I mean mixed as in they could be black, white, Asian, Chinese, whatever it may be, right? So a mixed couple relationship, yeah? So panel, confess, man, confession.
Who confession is good for the soul.
And you know what? Whether it's now or whether it's in the past, yeah? Let's explore this and let's talk about our experiences of being in a mixed relationship or had an encounter with someone outside of your own race. Okay, so let's open up. Mal, sipping juice, man, sipping juice.
Yes, in past lifetimes, I have ventured across the border, so to speak, in a relationship with someone who was a Latino Asian person.
Okay.
That was a very different experience where the mom was fine, the dad not so much.
No. Okay, then we'll go into that a little bit more. Okay, Simeon, what about yourself?
Mine's so short, I try to stretch it out and it's so short. No, Mish. Never ever.
Never.
Never ever.
So you've always dated inside your race?
I've always dated inside my race. And then so much as kissed one of them, tell the truth, that I can remember. Never.
Yeah. Okay. Pamela, what about you?
Yeah, I'm married to a Spaniard.
Okay. So, and what color is he?
He's white. He's a white Spaniard. Well, he doesn't consider himself white, but he's a white Spaniard, European Spaniard.
Oh, okay. Don't consider himself white. That's an interesting concept. I'll come back to that in a moment. Have I? I'll tell you later. So now, let's come back to you. You know, you said like the dad wasn't very keen, but the mom was more accepting. Tell me about your experience of that.
Yeah, it was very frosty at first. Very frosty. But obviously, because Canola conversation, we had a similar love of football and cricket, and that sort of broke the ice.
Oh.
And obviously, because I can cook, he was very interested in that. He liked philosophy and stuff like that. He was a very learned man. And because I knew certain things that got his attention, he says, "You're not like the other brethren, are you?" So I'm like,
red flag, man. Red flag.
So my back critter, beg your pardon, excuse me. Obviously knew what he meant.
Yeah.
But he weren't getting away with that. I wanted him to unpack what he said. I said, "What do you mean?" Well, you know, all you do is smoking weed, building speaker boxes. Drug dealers, aren't you? Are you a drug dealer, especially yours from Jamaica?
Oh God.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
That was his kind of attitude. I said, well, I says, I said to him, if I had to add the opinion, I would say that most of the shops in Asian areas are fronts for smuggling cocaine and heroin into the country. But I don't do that because it's not true. So let's not generalize.
Yeah, exactly.
So he thought about it. He realized that obviously we can go toe to toe intellectually. So he calmed down and says, well, all I want is the best for my daughter. But he was very, so, you know, we got to be fine. The mother was always welcoming, fine. And it was nice as long as we didn't socialize outside of the family.
Yeah, I had a similar experience, you know, but this is with a friend back in the day. My best friend was Caucasian, white, and we used to hang out and go places and stuff. And I went to her parents' house one of the days and had a laugh and drank tea and all of that. And her dad actually turned around and said, him actually literally, may I imitate him, him turned to the side. He says, do you know, Michelle, you're not like the others, you know. And I thought, what? Him turned to the other side, you're not like the others. I says, what do you mean by the others? What does that mean? He says, well, you're not like them, are you? I says, who? I wouldn't stop. He says, well, you know, those lot. I says, who, what are you talking about? And at that point, his wife intervened, yeah? And that really struck a chord with me in terms of the stereotypes that obviously are out there.
What did the wife say, Mish? What did the wife say?
The wife said, oh, stop it, Tony. That's just very, she was disgraced by it, but he didn't seem to think there was a problem.
I think a lot of it, you know, when I really check it, personal experience, our parents shielded us from it. They knew about it, but then shielded us from it. My first experience, Mish, is when I go to Great Bar, poor me innocent as Larry. I want going to Great Bar to make a new friend. That's how me wake up type of thing. It wasn't so. And the neighbors on the right, they were lovely, a lovely couple. The neighbor on the left was strange. They had a son, and every time he talked to his son, the son walked past me like him not know me. I said, but you're my neighbor. You know, so years after that, he met my sister, and he said to my sister, he says, you was the one who lived in Great Bar. She not recognize him, but he recognized her. And she said, yeah. And he said, we used to live next door to you. And he said, you know, I always wanted to speak to you, but my parents said I couldn't. He felt that, and he more that to himself, he felt the need to tell her. Yeah. Because he always wanted to speak, but his parents said he couldn't. So coming back to the same thing we're talking about, you know?
Yeah, I guess there would be a lot of influences. But let's go back to like the relationship, and let's talk about in a relationship, because I wanted to use that example because it just triggered something off, you see, Mal, when you said, oh, they're not like the others, because I remember that experience myself. But let's go back to the relationship. Pamela. You've said that your husband, he doesn't see himself as white.
No, well, not just him. In general, the people here in Spain, I don't know if it's this part of Spain, but they just see themselves as Spanish European. They don't see themselves as white. They see white as typically English or white Americans. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's like if somebody says that they're white, they literally just laugh in their face because, and they might do this because a lot of them, their skin isn't typically white. And their culture, and culturally as well, they see themselves as very different to white British, you know? So
do they like the white British?
Sorry?
Do they like white British?
Well, throughout Europe, there is I guess it's a stereotype, you know, the bad few have created a really kind of a negative feeling. They see football hooliganism, they see drunk, they see people insisting on you not speaking your own language but speaking theirs. They see people insisting on going to hotels in a Spanish country and demanding egg and chips, you know, when they bring their Spanish. So there's those kind of things, but as well, I would say where they're like as in with us from the Caribbean, from you're all right with them all right with you, but there's always that stereotype that's kind of left a bit of a nasty taste in the mouth, I guess.
So Simeon, yeah, I guess there would be, wouldn't it? Everywhere them take them bad habit with them all over the world. Simeon, you said that you haven't been in a relationship outside of your race. Has there been any particular reason for that, or is it just so it go?
Personal opinion. It's a personal opinion, personal choice, you know. I mean, people have said this and said that, trying to say outcomes not. I tell them it's a personal opinion. Where I'm coming from too is like, that was frowned upon, to be honest, knowing the history of the thing, you know. But as in answer to your question, it is my concluded personal opinion.
Personal opinion in terms of what? I'm trying to tease out. When you say it's your personal opinion, you mean it's your preference or your personal experiences? Is it because of the experience you just mentioned?
There's no experience that led me that way, to be honest. You know what I mean? I've never, you know, tried to date a European or something and something happened. No, there was nothing like that. I can honestly say nothing like that.
But why? Is it because why? The reason why, I want you to answer, but the reason why I just need to point out one thing here. My husband and I, before meeting each other, never dated or had a relationship with anybody outside our own kind. So, and I know why we didn't. We said it to each other, we're very open. But I wanted to know why you didn't, Simeon. Was it that, what was the reason?
What was the reason? I'm sure there's some reason. Yeah. No, it's a personal opinion. As I said, where we're coming from. This is just the way we see it. I don't wrong nobody for doing it. You know, I don't wrong nobody for choose who you want to choose. But I personally, for me, no.
Why?
But you're saying opinion. But the reason why I'll say, because I never found anyone other than the black man attractive. I didn't find them attractive. And my husband was the same, although he had less opportunities to meet a black woman
because where he is.
But because of where he is. But you know, we just weren't attracted to them. So that's why I'm asking why. It's not opinion. It could be that it's your personal preference, you know, and there's nothing wrong with having your personal preference. So that's why we're asking why.
I thought myself for money.
No, you didn't. You said it's your opinion.
My choice. My
so okay, then let me kind of break it down a bit. Growing up as a child, in the Caribbean community, and obviously the Windrush and the experiences that my parents experienced. My dad was very open about the racism and all of that. He used to say to us, don't bring them home. You know what I mean? He wasn't in favor of being in a relationship outside of the race because of the experiences that he faced when he went to work, when he was socializing, all of that. You know, when they first came to the country, you know, there was nowhere for them to go. They had to find their own entertainment and all of that. But there was a lot of that, to the point where it kind of, then he narrowed it down, you know? He narrowed it down to white, Asian, blah, blah. Even within our own Caribbean community, there are different islands. He narrowed it right down, which kind of left me with, well, okay, you know? And when you're actually, when that's being perpetuated to you on a daily basis, well, not daily, but, you know, constantly, constantly, it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When I started to obviously grew up and met friends and all of that, I realized, oh, this ain't how, you know, I've got to college, I mixed with a range of people. I have white friends, I have Asian friends, I have black friends and all of that, you know what I mean? So then the balance is, I can see the balance in terms of, you know, you can hang out with who you want to hang out with, kind of thing. You know, you have your own opinions when you get older, don't you? You're guided, don't you agree? You're guided by your parents, aren't you? To a certain extent.
Influence.
I think so, because my parents didn't do that.
Right.
My parents were from them, all right with you, you're all right with them. There was never any, we never had any of that. Don't bring this one, that. So I grew up with a very open view, you know.
We're influenced by our peers, and not just what they say, but how they interact with others. So like different codes, like how to mix your rubbing, which was the term, how to basically conduct yourself amongst them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was okay having friends, but luckily in where we grew up, everybody got on because music. Music, everyone loved soul, no matter what race you were. Everyone was always drawn to our culture. So you find, and I look at it now, people got happiness no matter where they find it. Happiness is where you find it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if one soul resonates with another soul, then fine. And I've found that right across. And I know people who've traditionally been dated in their own race or community, and they find happiness elsewhere. And at the end of the day, do you want to die alone? No, you don't. So you have to look at what values you're going to complement each other and live the best life you can. As long as you don't do anybody anything, harm anybody, impose upon anybody, it's all right. But at the same time, if a person prefers, no matter if they're white or Asian or Latino, Arab or black, to date exclusively within their own, then they should not be made to feel wrong for doing it. It's just like a straight person saying, just like I won't discriminate you for your orientation, the door swings both ways. You don't discriminate me if I want to live my life as an heterosexual.
Yeah, but we all know it exists, don't we? We do know discrimination. Is that the discrimination even exists within mixed couple relationships?
Yeah, especially when topical issues.
Do you agree with that, or?
Yeah.
Pamela,
sure.
Can you share any personal?
For sure, yeah, for sure. You will have, you know, initially, I had very close friends that were like, why? Why are you with a white man? Okay. You know, I've never known you to be with a white man. Why? You know, and it was like they wanted me to explain myself.
Did they feel that you were selling out, so to speak?
Yeah, some of them, they were like, come on, man, surely, you know, look at you, surely it's no problem finding a nice black man. And, you know, I'm not going to explain myself. At the end of the day, as I said before, I never had, when you meet the right person for you, those things are irrelevant. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you don't have challenges, because you do, you are going to have challenges. So for me, I'm only interested in the challenges I have to face within my relationship, because I him middle with.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the challenges that other people have about me being with him. You know, it didn't happen in the family. It didn't, because my family's too mixed by now. It's too mixed for that to be an issue. But there were a few of my friends, not a few, a couple had issues with it initially. But then once they met him, it changed.
Right. Okay. So what sorts of issues did they have? Was just purely because of the fact that he was white, or he was Spanish?
Yeah, I don't think they even cared that he was Spanish. I think it was just the whole black and white thing. And, you know, because I've got black children, you know, I was asked the question, how does that look with your children? I says, well, I'd like to think that my children, I'm raising them the way that I was raised, and love is love. You know, as long as the one thing my parents always said, just remember who you are. Know yourself. So when people see me, and even sometimes as well, I've you know, the odd comment, like when we're out together, I've had a few like looks, and people might make a remark thinking that they can, because they think that because I'm with a white man, I've always been with a white man, and I think that I'm not black. So then they'll make a remark. But when we respond in a typical way, then they realize like, oh, you know what I mean? And even with him, I don't, he's very aware that he's with a black Jamaican, British born Jamaican woman. He's very aware. His friends are very aware. His family's very aware. My friends and family are very aware that I'm with a Spanish European man, because we're both very proud of who we are, and we haven't lost that in the relationship.
Thanks for sharing that. I just want to draw to your attention, this source is from the Global News, and I have changed the name just to protect identity, really. Let's refer her as Burns. Burns and her husband, they're divorced now, right? But some people couldn't even picture them together even before they got married. So it's just basically what you're saying, isn't it? Why? What, you know? So when Burns is a North Indian woman, and her husband is white. When they go to restaurants and they're together with their children, people don't even realize that they're together, or do not assume that they're together. I wonder if you can kind of share any of these commonalities. What Burns said is that if people would look at us and not realize that we were together, and what she said is that she grew up in Ottawa, so there's always what she was basically saying is that there's always that separation, even if you're together and you're strong in your relationship. There's always a separation, even though they're a family unit. Later on, she did report to say that her husband never accepted the culture or her religion, even though she celebrated Christmas and Easter and this, that, the other. And therefore, she feels that that pressure did, as a consequence, lead to their divorce. Is that something that you could, or anyone, you know, anyone on the panel, do you think that that has implications in terms of culture?
Yeah, I can say once or twice, I've definitely had directly that that experience where I've gone into maybe a store, or I think it happened once at the airport as well, where you know, the woman was speaking to me in a different manner, and then as soon as my husband appeared, all of a sudden, in fact, she was ignoring me. I was stood there waiting to be served, and she was outright ignoring me. My husband walks over, who would have been after me, remember, because he's just walked over if we're not together. Straight away, she's gone to ask him, how can she help him? And then he's turned to me and said, what do you want? And her face, and all of a sudden, then she's been over nice. Oh, God, my guapa, you know, beautiful, this and that, all organized. Well, my face was like stone.
Simeon, you nodded your head a little bit there. What was that?
It's no surprise to me, to be honest.
Mm.
Because it comes down to how the individual sees it. You cannot change that. It's only, I do have a problem though, because I do feel that there's like two things jump in my mind. One, when that brother was walking with a black brother walking with his European sister, they look close, so they're probably a partner. I'm in my car, just waiting for the stoplight to change.
Yeah.
And he's looking to me like he's looking for some approval or disapproval. I see it all the time.
I do see that sometimes.
Yeah, all the time. To me, if you're going to walk with a European, that's your choice. Wool up your damn head. Not make me feel kind of like, I feel awkward when you're looking at me like that. Like, should I say, you know, that's fine with me? Or should, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, come on, Pamela. We've gone out and we've seen like black geezers with white women, and them have brought them neck and look for we.
Yes.
You know, looking. They're still looking. And I'm thinking, well, hang on, you with your woman. You that.
But but you know something that's to me. Why from my kiki, you know, hey, yeah, you know something that's to when me say the word called a jealousy, you know. Because sometimes, yes, I'll explain why I said that. Because sometimes, not all the time, of course, sometimes you picture this, a European man there with a black sister.
Yeah.
And he takes her out to a black party. There's a mixture there. And a strong black man know her.
Okay.
I see a jealousy there sometimes, whereas him, you know, his worry is that, hey, she might, you know, turn back to black or something, and you know, I see a jealousy there sometimes.
I think I've probably seen that with in the opposite, like Michelle, we've seen that. When the brother they broke him neck a look, when we look, we see the girl a look and we a certain way. That's just their own insecurities though.
Yeah.
That's people's insecurities, isn't it?
Absolutely. Mal, I'm coming over to you. I want to know more about your Latino experience. So, you know, when you were out on the street with your girlfriend, previous girlfriend, I hasten to add, I won't get nobody in trouble, right? So what was your experience? Were you comfortable in that relationship?
Yeah. Do you know what?
How did you feel?
I was because in the back in the day, you know, talking about late 80s, early 90s, everybody was more or less, it depends what scene you're on.
Yeah.
And you know, yes, we're from a roots and culture scene, but I'm a soul. So in that scene, it was like United Colors of Benetton, isn't it?
Yeah.
So everybody was gelling with everybody, you know. So you had people from all around the world, community, everyone used to go to all days, weekenders, black.
Oh, we never see you at the all days them and the all nighters.
I was probably on the dance floor.
Yeah.
I wasn't those going pss, 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 like, you know, what I was actually on the dance floor. I mean, flinging foot. But
it was very mixed.
Yeah, it was a mixed. Yeah, it was, you know, with all over the, you know, North Midlands, all over the country, late 80s, early 90s. You know, you had a very cosmopolitan social network.
Yeah.
Especially in certain clubs. You know, you go to Birmingham, you go certain places where, you know, you got black guys, white women, black women, white guys. Everyone was, because everyone loved the music, everyone was together and so on and so forth. So a lot of my older brothers, they were, you know, two of them especially they always sort of dated outside their own. Okay.
Do they say why? Is there a, you know, I'm just curious, do they say like?
Well, one of them were, I think, afraid of black. One of them was afraid of black women. I ain't gonna say his name.
Oh, okay.
You know you are.
Come on, yeah.
You know you are, bro. Right?
Afraid of the black woman.
I just think he was a bit.
In what way?
Nice one, man.
No, I'm just going to keep 100.
No, I agree with you.
I keep 100. Because he was trying so hard to be somebody else. Try so hard. Do you know what I mean? You know, talking with the insurance man voice, you know? Hello. You know, but, talking twang, you know? You know,
Insurance man voice. Yeah.
Folks, this is a 100 show.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, the other one, he didn't mind, long as you got on with people, and it was acceptable. It was just, no one felt uncomfortable dating somebody outside the race. It was only when in the soul scene, that's what it was like. Everyone just mixed with everybody. You know, you had black person with Chinese man with coolie, Indian with black, white, Asian with white with black, you know what I mean? And it seemed to be accepted subconsciously when you saw black guys with white women.
And you know
what? And I know some people would notice that. What used to stick in people's throats is when you saw a black woman with a white guy or an Asian guy. That used to, black men didn't like that.
Yeah.
And why was that? Because, you know, we're notoriously socialized around black, white, whatever. And
because they see black women as home, innit? So home is bare center and someone's in your home. That's that side of the story. And also,
if you clean up the yard and cook and clean.
No, but it's a heart thing. But also, when I remember I remember walking with a woman. She was European, very pretty European, right? Her dad was Lebanese and her mom's English. I remember walking up Mayor Green back in the day. We had a meal in Sutton Park. Used to be a place called Bobby Brown's in the park. Used to be a nice restaurant in the park.
It's all in the UK audience.
Yeah. It's called the Bracebridge now.
Yeah.
But it's Bobby Brown's in the park.
Yeah.
And I remember we're there walking up Mayor Green Road, and I remember a woman walked past. She drove up the car and she went, "What a waste! What a waste of a."
The black woman, was that a black woman?
These women kissed their teeth and says, "What a waste."
Why? Because you were
because they saw me walking with a woman that didn't look like them. So it was like, what a waste. And the big strapping fellow. What a waste. That's exactly what they said verbatim. That's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think in the 80s it was more, you didn't get the hassle like our parents would have got back in the 60s. So each year, each generation is more accepting of people's choices. So,
however, there are some black men out there that wouldn't even look at a black woman. That's got no interest whatsoever. And I don't know what they're bringing into their relationship with their white counterpart, right? But it's not positive.
Yeah.
Me, I figure there.
Yes.
Positive.
Yes.
Sometimes you go out and you'll see a black and white couple, and the white woman's tearing you from top to bottom, and you think, well, what's wrong with her? What's her problem?
Yeah, and it's not just the jealousy, it's the negativity that she's received from him. It's him chatting the black woman, saying that we're this and we're that. So they're looking at, because you have got some black men that they outright say, me now go, I don't like black women, they're too argumentative, they're too miserable, they're too much trouble. I'd rather be, the white woman, she gives me no problem whatsoever. And you know what I mean? So imagine if she's hearing that from him.
Yeah.
So she's getting the negativity as well. So when you see them, the two of them, I look like he's looking at you secretly, but then also it's like she's looking at you like, well, don't even think for a second that he likes you because he's told me what he thinks about you.
Well, exactly.
You know?
I just think to myself, that's, that's not good.
And
You know.
you know, you'd be amazed. Some of the things, you know, they buy them. Think, oh, I get lots of them. I like the white women because, you know, she buys me my new trainer, she buys me this, and she buys me that. The black woman too mean. You know what I mean? All she'd care about is the bills and this and that. But this is a very few, because we're saying this as what we've heard as black women.
Yeah, an experience.
But
yeah.
in general, black women don't slate black men.
No, they don't disrespect
We
black men.
uphold our men.
Yeah.
Don't
we
think
do.
that because you see me married to a white man that I'm going to ever put down my black man, because we uphold our black men. And so I'm saying these
in
things.
other words, you won't turn up at the in the news of the world on Sunday.
No, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, or be romping the night before in a hotel
No,
room.
we're not gonna, we don't do that.
But
We
you know,
don't do that.
you know some funny things, Sister Pam.
Hmm.
Some guys say, this is an argument on both sides.
Okay.
Trust me. It's what you just say. I'm agreeing with too. I hear the argument. You know?
Oh, do you?
Yes, man, I know why. The whole
As a
black
black
woman.
man, you hear the arguments about black women.
No, me listen to it. You see my experiences through other people's,
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
but my learning, I should say, is through other
Yeah.
people's experience.
Okay.
Right? I mean, hear the argument on both sides. It's like Sister Pam says, Likkle, you hear the black man in there with a white woman, because black woman them this and black woman them that, and you have a list of things that black woman is. And then vice versa, you would hear the woman argument too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Black man
Yeah.
is this and black man is that and black man is.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that, Simeon. I've heard that as well. Mhm.
So you
Yeah.
see, it's funny like that, because
Yeah.
come back to, you shouldn't have to have an argument as far as I'm concerned.
No,
That
Why
is
are
your
they complaining about
choice.
each other?
Eh?
no, you
Why are
get
they complaining about each other?
no.
Just
I've
No, it's to
Live and-
defend, basically it's to defend what they are doing.
that's exactly that.
Right.
Because
So-
just to complement what Simeon said, you know, when I worked in the city and stuff like that, I know someone very good sister friend.
Mhm.
She don't date black men. Where to the culture where she's from, she'd rather take on a man, a white man with three children than a black man with one. It's more acceptable. It's just the way I think their mothers think and whatever. And I used to say to her, listen, a person should choose whoever they want to choose. Yeah, it's happiness knows no color, loyalty knows no color, love knows no color. But what I don't like is when someone of this is the opposite gender of their own to justify what they're doing. It doesn't matter, you know, when you have a black woman doing it, dissing black guys because they're with a white guy. Okay, no one's going to judge you for your choice. You're happy with your choice. Live your life how you want to live. That's what I say. Not judging nobody, but don't diss your own people.
Why is that? Do you think that
and it's like when I see, because I don't see a lot of I don't see white or Asian people doing that.
Yes.
They do it not
they
in general.
do it within different
in
classes,
general, they don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you're gonna make that choice, own your choice, and live your truth. Do you know what I mean? Don't like you know, you're there in public, you don't want to hold her hand. If that's your woman, hold her hand. Own your truth. Be true to yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Live your life how you want to live. Choose who you want to choose.
But I'm just coming back to what Simeon says, because sometimes, you know, they're looking for, like he said, that the black man was with the white woman looking for approval. He's looking for approval from a complete stranger.
Yeah, because I'm a black man like him.
He
said, I'm another black man. He's a black man.
And so what? So what?
That's what he's linking to. If he's a white man, he probably, I don't know if he would do that because I'm not a white man. I've never experienced that. He would do the same thing. I don't know. But me know, say from my perspective, he was looking, because he's black, I'm black, he's with a white woman. He was looking for my approval, so to speak. Like,
So was he looking for you to say, yeah, man, or thumbs up, or?
He's either thumbs up or thumbs down, basically. That's how we read it.
Looking for your reaction.
My reaction.
Mm.
That's the way he was staring at me. Because to be honest, he said, me, I walk with my woman, me not see you.
That's
You don't
right.
see anyone, do you?
That's
Yeah.
right.
You just
No, and in truth, me not see them.
Yeah.
Walk your truth. Walk your truth.
Yes. Me head up, so I walk with them, I talk to them, I do where I go.
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
But
I
you know what?
mean,
It's
go
like
on,
my children have white grandparents and stuff like that. They have,
yeah.
you know, and you get the best of all worlds. You get the best of all worlds. You know, and it's a microcosm of how people should live.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But there's a very strong Caribbean culture and resonance in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very fortunate to be blessed them experiencing both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, so in our case, we get the best of Jamaica, Grenada, and England.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So
So, so what about, I know this is going to be a very weird question.
Go on, Mish.
You know, like sexual relationships with the opposite sex, with somebody outside of your race. Is it any different to sexual relationship with same race? Can anybody just clear up that for me? Or is it a myth, a stereotype?
Well,
Because the Spanish is supposed to be very romantic and this and that, and you know.
Well, you know, they do say that, you know, the Latinos are very passionate, but then so are Jamaicans are very passionate. So, you know, you can imagine the two.
Are they? I'm going to kill you with it.
Yeah, well,
I'm
the two
joking,
of
I'm
us
joking.
together, it's fireworks, isn't it? But what I will say is that the myth, you know, that is attached to the black man,
Absolutely.
well, it can go into others as well. You know, there's like that is a myth. It depends, and I don't
What
think
are the myths? Tell me the myths first.
you know what them say that you know what them say, man, but the black man when them say a black man, they assume say him have a big undercarriage. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
They just assume it, yeah, and they assume that
You think?
and they assume that if he's not black, that he have a small undercarriage.
Okay.
Yeah, you know. But I would say that there's no difference when it's love. You know, when two people just love each other.
Yeah.
The love making is going to be wonderful.
Even if it's a small undercarriage.
Well, I wouldn't know. So, you know.
Oh, dear. Yeah. So essentially, because we're going to wrap this up now, it's been a very interesting debate. Some people can't help who they fall in love with, audience. And it doesn't matter if you fall in love with somebody of the you know, you're outside your race. What's really important is how you work on your relationship. Yeah. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Not ignore the cultural aspects of both sides, whether you're Spanish or Indian or whatever it may be, Black Caribbean, right? You bring those two cultures together and you work with it. And I can't imagine that that's going to be an easy task, as in what Byrne said, you know, because if one's celebrating the culture on you know, on say in her case on her husband's side, but he's not celebrating her culture, you're going to have problems, aren't you?
But you see, Michelle, there's another problem that I feel the need to touch on, that we need to address. The when you are with someone that is not of your color, let's deal with the color now, the color issue, right?
Yeah.
They are not going to have had, or it's very unlikely that they've had the experiences, the negative challenges that you have had as a Black person in this world, especially growing up in Britain. So one of the biggest challenges that I think, well, for me, that I faced was being with somebody that doesn't have the empathy that's required because they don't have the understanding.
Okay.
You know, but like when you, even little things like when you're watching a movie or when you're watching a show, like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, that deals with the things that we have had to go through as Black people, and their reaction, you're upset and they're not upset, and you're wondering why they're not upset. Can you not see what's happened? But it's because we have the empathy. And I think that the what I've learned
So
is
you share that.
I've learned that you've just got to accept that they're not going to have the empathy that's required because they haven't had that experience. So they're not going to know, they're not going to react or feel the way that you feel.
Doesn't stop you talking about it though, and explaining, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, but sometimes it becomes an argument because you can explain all you like. If somebody doesn't have the understanding, then they're not going to understand how you're really feeling. And sometimes that can get really frustrating. Whereas if I was with a Black guy, he would understand because he will have experienced the same struggle, you know? So we can't just deny, yes, love is love and love is wonderful, but you have to accept that there are going to be some serious challenges when you haven't had the same experiences.
I would also add to that also, in terms of race and culture, you can be from the same race and still have some of the challenges if you were brought up differently, or if you're in one country and they were raised in another country, there are still issues there as well. Yeah, I would argue that as well. Yeah, but I take your point. Yeah, I could just imagine it don't matter how you explain yourself, or try and communicate that, it's still going to be an issue, and inevitably it can end up in an argument. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap the show up, Mal? We've got to wrap up now.
I would say if one chooses to share their life with somebody from a different community, never forget who you are. Embrace the positives of both cultures and navigate an understanding regarding the negative aspects of each culture and form a bridge between the two, because there's being with somebody and having a relationship is a multi-layered approach. It's a cultural approach. Can be a religious approach. It could be a psychological approach. Language. A social one, language. So, you know, love should be at the center of it all. But also, if it's love, then find the time and energy to embrace all that is good between you and that person.
Well, I have to say, I dated a guy from Tunisia, and it failed at the first surgery because I couldn't understand a word he was saying. We just couldn't communicate.
But also, I will say, going on what Mal said as well, when you're true to yourself, you get a lot more, people respect you more.
Yes.
Don't try to take on theirs. Don't try to take on their culture and be like them. Be yourself. And people respect you a lot more when you are true to yourself.
Simeon, do you want to add anything to that before we wrap up the show?
I'd like to, Mish, if I may wish. A man asks me, how do I know if I never experienced? And I tell to him that it's not everything you know is true experience. I do believe that there's two ways to know or learn, the easy way and the hard way. The hard way is through me going through a certain thing, and the easy way is through another person's experience, you know. But it's not my choice, you know. And I don't wrong nobody for them choice. Everybody have them opinion, you know.
You guys,
go on, true.
Panel, thank you very much for your contributions in this show. You've been watching Jamlish Real Talk with a little bit of language. You see, I'm thinking of the young guy with his language, you know. Labrish. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Don't forget the YouTube shorts. Yeah, subscribe, like, comment. We welcome your comments. Thank you for watching. Your comments are really important because we want to hear what your feedback and your views are about this topic. Yeah, and this topic wasn't meant to offend. I just thought I'd throw that in.
Okay.
Okay, about our experiences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So see you later for another explosive show. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Pete. Bye.
Jamlish na hard to find, you know.